all of my friends are old and rich, and that is the number one reason why I am where I am today, making more money than I ever could have dreamed of, and it is absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to go over what these guys do that most younger people don't, or just most people in general. When all of these older successful people, what they talk about when they're in the room together, there's nobody talking about drama or their football game or whatever hell is going on TV or social media or whatever show or movie they're watching. It's almost always about what they're doing in their life. Like they're the main character in whatever movie they're in. They're almost never, I've never see these people scrolling on their phones on social media getting fast hit dopamine, because their life is just so interesting. And they're usually talking about the books that they're reading or their goals or their aspirations. And you say, Josh, why the hell do they still have goals or aspirations? Most of the friends that I have, they're like 50 plus that have unlimited money. They could literally never run out of it. And it's just how they're wired. They love the game. They're talking about the exact same things that it took them to get rich. They're continuously going over what could go wrong or how they're going to grow their business or how they're going to make more money, because they enjoy the game as for what it is and not just trying to get rich. It's really fascinating. The second thing that I've really seen is how well they delegate, especially Ken and George. Those are the two guys I spend the most time with. Ken McElroy, he is a massive 300 employee, 10,000 real estate unit portfolio. He's making, millions and millions, probably like $7 to $15 million per month from his real estate portfolio. And then he has some other businesses as well. But they delegate so well. Ken runs his entire company in 1 day per week, and that's really only 2 meetings per week. Think about that. An entire company making, let's say, $10 million per month is run on 2 hours per week from this guy. It took 35 years for him to get to that position. He's an older guy, but now that he's there, that is how they got there, by giving up control and hiring people smarter than them in different areas to grow the company and giving them a piece of the pie so that everybody wants to grow it together. And George, I'm in Colombia right now with him. He has everything delegated, from all the cooking he does, all the cleaning, all the grocery shopping. All these guys, they spend their time where it is best allocated, which is the thing that moves the needle the most. And they're really just focused on one thing, where they're just hyper obsessed with it and then hire people around everything else. That is not realistic for somebody starting out, not even a little bit. I was first under the impression when I first started my business that, I'm just going to do the exact same thing that these guys did. And I'm just going to run a business. I'm going to work 2 hours per week because that's what Ken does. And no, you got to get to that point. And it's not easy. The way that Ken did it is he just paid an extraordinary amount of money to hire the right people. He was hiring people that probably don't need to be working for him, but he wants the absolute best talent around him. And so he's willing to pay more for it. And his company's growing much, much, much faster because of it. And now I did, because I'm in Colombia, I do have a maid who does all the cooking, cleaning, grocery shopping. Same thing as George. He has a lot more people doing a lot more things for him, but that actually saves a lot of time, like probably 6 to 10 hours per week. And I never have to think about what I'm going to eat. So then I can focus my time on things that matter. And for me, that is, how do I grow my business? How do I make more money? Well, what do I need to do to increase results? And how can I improve my skill set? So that's how I'm taking after them, through delegation, as well as trying to figure out how I can scale my company. The next thing is they think super, super big picture, both in terms of broadness and in long time horizons. So Ken, for example, he always starts with like a 10, 20 year time horizon, and then he works backwards and reverse engineers how he's going to get that. So for example, right now he has 10,000 real estate units. In the next 10 years, he wants 25,000. That means he needs to buy 15,000 in the next 10 years. But then he said, well, just reverse engineer the math. That means you need 1,500 per year. That means you need about 350 to 400 units per quarter. So when you think about it like that, all they need to do is buy one project per quarter, because the project that they're buying are usually between 200 to 400 units a pop. And so that's how he thinks about these things. Now every single person in their company is aligned to those missions. And then they have these KPIs, which are just performance indicators. So they know if they're all on track. So everybody in the company starts with a long-term vision, 25,000 units. They're going to donate X amount per year. They're going to do X, Y, and Z. Like, you know where the company's heading. You're in the right trajectory. And then it's, what am I doing on a day-to-day basis to get there? And it's hard to see on a 10-year time horizon if you're an employee. And so then you have performance indicators, so you know if you're on the right track every week, every month, every single day. And that makes such a huge impact. A lot of people, especially young people, myself included, but I'm religiously trying to get myself off of this habit of thinking of monthly income or how can I make more money today? Whereas, how is this going to impact me in 10 years? And you want to be making the decisions that wildly have the most asymmetry 10 years from now. At least that's what I see these people doing. And I am trying to do the same. I could easily take on more clients right now and make $100,000 per month because there's so much demand for my work. But at that point, the results that I would have per client would decimate because I'd hire a bunch of people and I would train them poorly and I would be working 15 hours a day and I'd be super stressed and I know the results would suffer. Therefore, my reputation would get ruined most likely. And then 10 years from now, I probably would not be in a better situation where instead I'm just maintaining a very high commodity of my time and trying to methodically approach this. So I keep the one thing that really sticks with you forever and your reputation. And it's really easy to ruin it because I've seen it happen over and over and over again, especially with a lot of young kids. They'll just try and grow social media. They'll sell a course, maybe make $1 million. But I mean, what do you do after that when you're like just blatantly scamming people? But anyway, the next is how much they value relationships. And they are always surrounded by people like them. I said that the number one reason I am where I am today is because of the people I'm with, but it's the same for all of them. Every single one of these people want to be talking to this similar caliber people. They want to communicate. They want to express ideas. No one wants to be the richest, most successful, most intelligent person in the room. Nobody wants that. All of these people want competition. You want friendly competition. If you were playing tennis, I actually was playing paddle for the first time today. You want to be playing against someone good, you almost better than you, because that strives you to want to get better at all times. It sucks when it's super easy and you are just destroying somebody the entire time. That is not fun or anything. And so if you're asking yourself, well, Josh, how do I find a network of people? How can I find super old rich dudes? You have to be able to provide value for them to where they want you to be able to stick around because you're making them money somehow. But the answer is most people are probably not worthy of holding a conversation with these people, and not from a standpoint of an ethical manner, but just if you don't have the same interest. If you were used to talking about the football game and this person's drilling you on intense business macroeconomic questions, it is not, there's no real alignment there. You want to surround yourself with people who think like you. I mean, that's what tribes are. And you want to progress forwards. So almost every single successful person I've met, they are surrounded by people just as successful as them. You find a way into those circles, one way or another. The fifth one is the purpose of money that I see. I mean, these guys spend a ton of money. This weekend, we were out with a lot of buddies in Colombia with George. And in Colombia, everything is extraordinarily cheap. But God, I was still spending probably $5,000 per night. Last night, I picked up the bill because that's what I like to do, because I like to think big picture. And even though I'm by far the poorest person that was there, is not even close. Or I actually work for George, and I still picked up the bill because I like to think big picture. This impacts me better over the long run because you're not just going to be leeching off these people and always just getting free everything. So spending $2,000, or I think it was $1,500 for drinks for everybody, that's okay. I'm happy to do that, and it's very rewarding in the long term. I see Ken do that all the time. Not he has unlimited wealth, but even going to conferences or things like that, he likes to go and network with these people and have a good time. And he's going to take his own jet. Even if he's speaking, he's not going to charge him. He's going to get his own room a lot of the times. He's spending his own money to go there. He always just says, Ken, every single time, he always just says, big picture, big picture. That's all he's focused on. How does this impact you 5 years from now? What is the positive benefit that's going to have? And it always trickles up when you're doing the right thing. And so with the purpose of money being a tool, like I was saying that they spend a lot of it, what they really hyper focus on is they just want passive income to fund their lifestyle. They want to make enough money to fund whatever lifestyle that they want. So if your monthly expenses are $20,000, they want to find a way to get $20,000 of passive income so they can spend whatever that is. Or, I mean, obviously not all of it, but that's really what I see. And these people if it's $100,000 per month in passive income, you're probably not going to be spending $100,000 per month. Then they just reinvest it and they still want to do more. But your lifestyle can always increase. They could start flying private. They could do whatever. And they always are trying to get better. And so because I've been surrounded by these people, it's been incredibly rewarding. You start to think the same way. And I'm not going to say I'm anywhere near that, but that's usually how I'm thinking at all times now. And so these are just a few of the things that I think the real key is surrounding yourself with people much more successful than you in any venture. If for the gym, I like to go to the gym with people much more jacked than me or in much better shape. If I'm playing pickleball or running, same thing. Business, every single aspect of my life, I want to be surrounded by people better than me with. And that has been the most rewarding thing because I'm a competitive bastard. If I see someone working harder towards something, I'm going to want to work a lot harder. I just think that is the natural male instinct, especially when you are young and your testosterone's high and you're not a vegan. Drinking raw whole milk and eating 3 pounds of steak a day. Anyway, jokes aside, then this always leads to the question, well, Josh, how do you find those kinds of people? And it's incredibly tough. What I did is I actually originally got George's logo tattooed on my leg. And I took my first ever flight to meet him, and I eventually got a job doing that. Then I started to gain skills and being able to provide value to the marketplace to where it's a lot easier to go in and work for people because I can actually make them money. And if you can provide value to the marketplace and make someone else much more money and you understand what they want to a very high degree, they want to keep you around. And if you're young and ambitious and you tell them my goal is not to make money from you, but to learn so I can make a lot more money in the future, it works exceptionally well. That's what I've been doing over and over and over and over again. And now I have the best situation I never even could have dreamed of. I mean, PJ has a good situation over there. He's drinking milk out of a bag right now. I mean, if that's not one of those manly things you've ever seen, this is what we're about to be eating. A little snack. I mean, it's a kind of a super small snack. But then all this is in the fridge is milk, steak. That's all you need. This is 3 pounds of filet mignon. Those are some ribeyes. That's all you need. Yeah. Every single thing that you could imagine, that's all you need. Steak, eggs, some dark chocolate to offset the iron that happens when you eat a lot of steak. People say messes it up and it tastes good. So anyway, I don't know where that nonsense spew went on, but it's true. The more steak you eat, usually the more I like people. There's almost 100% correlation. The more steak and milk that someone eats and consumes, like the more time I want to spend with them. And so